Hello, Ocholi Okutepa is my name, and this is my beloved wife, Julia.
Hello.
Okay, we're excited to come to you today, and this is the show where we keep it real. All right? It's been a while, and we are glad to be fully back on the couch conversations where we just, sit and speak to subjects and issues that are very serious and dear to us, dear to you, so that we can bring some clarity by God's grace and through God's word. All right, so what are we dealing with today? How do you maintain effective communication in a relationship or a marriage? How effective communication? All right, so the subject of effective communication is serious. First thing I would say is that communication in itself is actually the bloodline of a relationship.
Indeed.
So a relationship depends on communication. Relationships begin with communication. It started with boy like girl or man like woman, said it to the woman embraced it, accepted it, and it began from there. But let me hear Julia before I shoot the points that I have. How do we maintain effective communication? I don't think we need to define communication. Everybody knows communication is, conveying a thought that is understood, conveying a thought that is appreciated, and the person gives a response or something. So how do we effectively, in a relationship and a marriage, maintain effective communication?
I think one of the things to put in your mind when you are communicating with your spouse is that you are trying to convey a message. So when in conveying a message, you have to understand that the message is not meant for you. Mm-hmm. So you understand what you want to say to your partner, but it is important for them to understand what you are saying to them. So whenever you are communicating, to communicate effectively, you have to arrange your message
in the language they understand. Because the communication is for your partner
not for you.
Understand.
Yeah.
So that means the most important language to speak
is your partner's
language.
Yes.
All right. That means you have to even uncover their language. Because a lot of times what happens is that people don't even know their partner's language. We're so big on saying love languages, but there's communication language. All right. Your partner wants to understand you. All right, or if you want your partner to understand you, you need to speak the language that your partner understands. That's the first major point we're making here. All right, that I need to speak the language my partner understands. And that's a big curriculum on its own. Mm-hmm. What language does my partner understand? I'm going to give you some examples of common languages that partners understand that people don't even regard or understand. All right, now, some partners love straight conversations. Don't beat around the bush. I'm one. When my wife wants to say something, like I'm itching, just say it. Hit the nail on the head. Baby, actually today, then. I don't, even when
I'm laughing so hard right now because I know every time I want to convey a message, because of the importance of the message, I like to pad the message.
No. That gives me anxiety. That makes me unsettled. I don't want to be unsettled. How can somebody spend 5 to 10 minutes trying to lay foundation? What are you laying foundation? I was not happy at work today. I was not happy. Actually, when I got to work, then, straight. And more men are like me.
And the truth is, this is how I love to hear, important messages. I need you to
You are taking us to the
all the preambles.
You are taking us to the second point. Go ahead, mention it so that we'll just mix it. Because very often, the language that your partner demands is the language they love to be spoken to.
Yes.
Because that's how they process communication. Do you get the point? So if you want to get the clue as to how your partner wants to be communicated to, listen to the language or the pattern that they desire that you communicate to them. So my wife loves all the friends, but I don't. For instance, I came home this night and they wanted to, our first daughter said, something happened in school today. I'm a father. My mind's already going, what? She's not like, I don't think you want to hear it now. Like, how won't I want to hear it now? Like, okay, maybe mommy will tell you. Mommy will tell you, do you know what that means for a father? That means, what are we talking about? My mind's already running 1,000 places. So I sat to eat on the dining, and I'm like, you are going to tell me now. And guess what? She ended up narrating a story. I'm sorry, I'm not discounting how she felt about it. But she ended up narrating a story. I was just wondering, so that's it. That's it. So we have mentioned two things. Number one, you need to understand the language in which, by which your partner wants your communication. And I said, for example, there's a direct speech. Some partners just go straight. Don't waste my time. They don't have the patience for it. Then Julia quickly identified, that she rather likes the other, which gives the other one. Some people want embellishment. They want preambles. They want you to lay foundation. They put a lot of emotion to the process. Take it easy. They don't even like it if you just go straight. They want to, like for instance, when I come, oh God, some of the most difficult things I've done in my life is to tell my wife how my day went. Or when she starts asking questions about my profession. Like, you're not in the same profession with me. I can't take you back to law school and start teaching law 101, But that's a language. I don't have a choice. So if I need to effectively communicate, I need to pick that bias of communication and begin to communicate that way. So 2 points we have made. We'll say some other things now. Number one, pick up their language and begin to speak their language. All right. Number two, I say the clue to that language is to see what they prefer, because what they prefer is very likely how they prefer to be talked to. So their bias always comes out to be treated the way, all right, that they understand. But there's another point I'm going to make here. Go ahead.
Okay. Another point in effective communication is to take out the distractions. Now, if you want to communicate with your partner, you have what you want to tell them. And you need to understand that your aim is for them to hear what you want to say, to understand what you want to say. But if I'm communicating with them from a point of frustration, and rather than communicating my message, I'm pouring out so much frustration and anger, while those emotions are valid, my partner is distracted by the emotions I'm pouring into. And sometimes they can get defensive. Sometimes they can just shut out because some people just don't want stress, don't want the annoyance that harsh words bring about. So they just shut down the communication mentally. So you want to communicate in a way that this is the point I want to communicate. Then I want to calm down and make sure that I'm communicating the right information.
I love the word you use. You need to remove the distraction.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want to communicate any other emotion that betrays the message. Mm-hmm. There is a central message in your communication. All right. And let me quickly say this, to support that point, that when you want to effectively communicate, to remove the distraction, you need to ask yourself, what's the point? If you don't ask that question, you can come to the point. And that's why you see couples set out to try to settle a misunderstanding and end up in crisis. Escalating it. Because what happens at that point is you forget the point.
Yeah.
All right. So if you don't remember the point, what happens is you miss the point. You get drawn into emotion, you start responding to what you should not respond to, you start saying things you should not say, things you do not mean. What's happening there? You are missing the point because you are not removing the distraction. And don't forget, effective communication, to be able to remove the distraction, you need to ask, what's the point? When is the right time?
Yeah.
And what is the right tone? 3 key things. To remove the distraction, what is the point? Number 2, what is the right time? Number 3, what is the tone? Because you could lose it in this process. All right? Any final words on this episode? We want to keep it short so that you just watch it. Boom!
When you're communicating with your partner, keep it at the back of your mind that I want them to understand what I'm saying. I want them to hear me. And he made a very cogent point just now about speaking to them at the right time. So understand that communication is vital for marriage. You need to do it very often. It is through communication that we are able to, let down our guards, be vulnerable to each other, and speak deeply to each other and enhance our intimacy. So be precise about what you want to communicate and make sure that your spouse is receiving the message you intend them to receive, not just, the distractions and other stuff that you don't want to communicate to them. Because we need to understand that in communication, it's not just your words that are speaking, your attitude is speaking, your voice you're speaking.
Don't drag it too far. We're going to do more episodes on different aspects of communication. This is just like an introduction to effective communication. We're going to say so much more. All right? So, but here's the deal before you go away. Make sure you have somebody else who knows this channel because of you. And if you just stumbled on this video, you have not subscribed, like you are missing. We have loads of videos that will change your life. Great teachings, short videos and stuff. Please do subscribe and tell other people, bring them on board. Help us to reach more people by sharing this video for some people to listen. All right, God bless you. Once more, Ocholi, Julia, Okutepa.